Hello guys, this is Johan van Kaam. Today I'm going to show you how to make a simple landing page using Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Dreamweaver. To give you an example for a landing page, here is one just with a lead capture form. Today we're going to leave the lead capture form out of it and we're just going to make a landing page with a simple button. So I invite you all to download the files I'm using for this tutorial. You can download it here. It's a simple zip file. Click on the link in the description below or just enter this URL into your browser and download the file. Once you downloaded it, you can see here is the test1 file. I just downloaded it, and when you downloaded it, open it and place the files on your computer, and you'll get files like this, strange files in a map called LCP. Now open them up and you will see there's an index.html file inside it, and you can just double click it and see what it is. And here you can see it's just a background with particles. Particles are really cool, especially if you're promoting any cryptocurrency, because it's so hot at the moment. Every company wants to have this background with the particles flowing. And as you can see, when you just click, it will create new particles. It basically looks very cool and you can't go without it anymore. So enough of this, we're now going to start to make the landing page. I'm opening Photoshop here. I'm going to make a new file, and this one very important also. The file must be 500 pixels wide and 700 pixels high. And we want the background contents to be transparent, so we don't have to remove the background later. So from here we click on create, and as you can see we've got a new file. So here we go to the layer section of Photoshop, and we're going to name this layer background, simply because it's the background. So next step to do is to create a new layer. New layer, and this one we're going to call div background. So now we've got two layers, and we now select the upper layer, the div background layer, and we're going to give this layer a body. And how we're doing that, I'm going to choose the color I'm making the body with in black, and here I'm going to use this tool, and I'm going to make sure I have got the rounded rectangle tool, and I want this rectangle tool to have a radius of 20 pixels. That basically explains that your corners will be more round. So once I've done that, I'm now going to make the body. As you can see, something appeared, and we want to put this in the middle. So once we've done that, it's very important, I press the left control on my keyboard, and when I do that you can see something changes on the mouse, and I just click here, and as you can see it now selects all the layer I just created. So next step to do, we want to add a border to this layer, and what we do now, we add another layer, new layer, and this we're going to call div background border. Next thing to do is we've selected the layer, and we want to make this selection 1 pixel less. So select, modify contract, and we do this by 1 pixel, and it will make the selection 1 pixel more small. Next thing we want to do is we want to choose the color we want the border to be in with, and I've chosen here for a yellow color because it looks cool with a blue background. And once I've selected the yellow color in my foreground color, I'm going to edit, stroke. I couldn't find it for 1 second, and I'm going to make the stroke 2 pixels wide, and as you can see it already chose the right color, and I'm going to make the stroke outside of the selection, not in the center, not in the inside. I want it outside. Once I've clicked on OK, the border appears, and here I've created two single layers, one for the background and one for the border. So I can change this border color's name anytime, and I can change the color always. As you can see, I can hide it and I can show it again. So once I've done that, I go stand on the div background layer again, and we're going to add some text. There's basically two colors text we can use now, the yellow one and the white one. We want to start off with the white one, and it's always important that you know a good text on your landing page that makes people want to click on that button or want to give you their email or name, you know, and that's what a landing page is. You write some text on it and make them excited. They must want to click on that button and go to the next page because they want to see what you have to offer for them. So I already wrote some text that I'm going to write into the landing page. It starts here. Always wanted to get Bitcoin but don't want to spend over 7,000 for one Bitcoin. I simply copy the first line of text, and here I'm going to add some text by pressing one time on here and just pressing on the place I want to start writing the text. So, oh, something went wrong. Now I have to delete it again. Delete layer, yes. So, again, just press Ctrl V, I thought, nothing happening. One more time. Okay, it doesn't work like that. Anyways, we're just going to type what the text we want. Always wanted to get Bitcoin, but don't want to spend over $7,000 for one Bitcoin. I have no idea how much text there is. I'm going to make it a little bit more small. So back to 48 pixels, 36 pixels, it looks even better. So always wanted to get Bitcoin, but don't want to spend over $7,000 for one Bitcoin. So we're just going to make sure the text gets in the center. As you can see, Photoshop 2018 creates a purple ruler in the middle once your text is centered, so that makes it really easy. We want to make it even more centered, and we just select again on the text tool, and we just make sure that we'll center the text like that. And you have to adjust the layer position again and put it in the middle again. And now it looks cool, but it doesn't look perfect. So we're going to change each line of text size, and we're going to make it fit all together. So this is the first line, the second line is good. We're going to select the third line now. I'm going to make this a slight little bit bigger, and the last line should be even more big. As you can see, it also changes the distance between the lines of text. So how are we going to do this? We've got here the properties tool for the text. As you can see, it's on auto, and we want to check what happens when we put it on 0.1 or 60. Now we can see at 60 points it looks much better than before, and we want to do that for every line of text. We'll put this on 48. Now it looks much better. So the next thing to do, you want to spice up your text a little bit. You want to add some colors. It's very easy. You've got two colors on your color palette, the foreground and the background color. Once you highlighted a piece of text, you can simply press here on the arrow, and it will change the background color to the foreground color, and it will change also the text color you just highlighted. So we're going to put 7,000 in yellow, we're going to put Bitcoin in yellow, and I'm going to put this Bitcoin also in yellow. So right now there's some text on your landing page. always wanted to get Bitcoin but don't want to spend over $7,000 for one Bitcoin. Okay, now to the second line of text. So it was a little bit more big. So we're going to make this text much more small. I'm going to create a new text layer. Again, choose the text tool and press on your Photoshop project and just write. I even forgot what I had to write. Ordinary people, not always. Like I said, we wanted to make the text color more small. Ordinary people. This is horrible, guys. Are now able to mine Bitcoin and several other cryptocurrencies. And once again, we want to position our layers the right way. I'm going to center this. Ordinary people are now able to mine Bitcoin and several other cryptocurrencies with a few clicks on the mouse. I'm going to select all the text to make it white, because we don't want all the text to be yellow. Okay, as you can see, the distance between the lines of text is huge, and we just want to put that on auto. So we have an idea on how big the text should be. Once again, we're going to try to center it again. Remember, it shows up the purple ruler when it's actually centered. So 3 lines of text, and the second line is, the size is too big. We'll put this on 17 pixels, and this one will make much more big. We'll put it on 42. The second line of text is too close to the first line, so we're going to remove this from auto and we'll put this on not 30, let's say 26. 26 looks much better. And this I'll put on 24, that's not enough. 30 is not enough. 60 maybe, that's too much. As you can see, you can play around with these settings to make your landing page look much better than other people. Their landing pages, even much better than mine. I'm just showing you how to do it, and you can do it yourself and be creative. So I've got now basically 2 parts of the landing page. The header, always wanted to get Bitcoin but don't want to spend over $7,000 for one Bitcoin. And I've got the secondary text part, which basically says ordinary people are now able to mine Bitcoin and several other cryptocurrencies with a few clicks on the mouse. And that's basically what's possible. That's what I want to show these people. Now the last line of the text, the solution is here, with an exclamation mark on the end. Oh. As you can see, the text is too big. I'm going to change it back to 40. The solution is here. What I always like to do to spice up these landing pages is adding some eye-catching stuff like logos or other stuff. That's also what I'm going to do. What we forgot here is to change some parts of the text into a different color. What I want to do here is make cryptocurrencies yellow. Few clicks I want to make different, and few clicks the mouse. Also, of course, mine Bitcoin. We're going to make yellow and ordinary people. So now we've added 3 lines, basically 3 lines of text, 3 parts of text, and our landing page is almost ready. The text is very important. You want people to read it, you want to draw people's attention, and a good strong header makes that happen. So I'm not sure if this will really work. We always have to test things and new things, but I believe how I wrote it down, it will work for all of you. So you can add your own flavor to the text. You can even add your complete own text to it. Just make sure it works and test it. And by testing I mean sending traffic to it and evaluating the results. So you want to add some logos. To make it clear, to save you the time, we can easily find logos at google.com. Let's say Bitcoin logo PNG. I always put PNG behind it because I want a logo with transparency. As you can see here, this is the Bitcoin logo with transparency. Well, I'm not going to use these ones. I have my own logos already. I first have to locate them. I already did. There's 5 logos I want to use here. I'm going to select them all and open them all. So let's start with Bitcoin logo. As you can see, this one isn't transparent, so I'm going to select the magic one too. First duplicate the layer, and I'm going to remove the white stuff. It doesn't really work good, so I'm going to deselect contiguous, and it will now select all the white stuff I want to delete. And let's put this tolerance on 20 to see what happens. Maybe 10. I'll show you how it looks now. We can do 2 things. We can just copy the whole logo. Just copy, Control C. I want to add it in here. That doesn't work. Anyways, I'm going to deselect it and I'm just going to drag it on the file we want. As you can see, it didn't cut it very well, so maybe it looks better when I scale it down. Here it is. Oh. As you can see, scaling it down, remove the white stuff around it, and actually works quite well on most of the logos and stuff. Now the second logo, the Ethereum logo, we are going to do it the same way. Drag it into our picture, scale it down a bit. As you can see, the scaling isn't perfect. When you press shift while doing it, it will stick to the right proportions. Oh my god. We also want to name each logo so we know which logo is which layer. Now the Ethereum one here, so it's slightly too big. What I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to find the rulers. Rulers, okay, I've got them. Rulers are very good if you want to make sure your images are positioned very well. going to remove the Ethereum logo. I'm going to select the Bitcoin logo so it will stick to the Bitcoin logo itself. This will be our standard size. We're not going to make the Ethereum logo more big. Now we're going to try making it the same size as the Bitcoin logo. Well, fair enough. Now we're done with the Ethereum. Now we're going to put the expense. Expense is the same shit as a white background. I told you to search for the PNG files because they won't have a background. Expense logo. A little bit more big, like this. You want to put, we've got 5 logos, you want to put one in the middle, like this. You want to put the other logos, position them much better than they were before. So you now have 3 logos, 2 to go. Litecoin logo. This one has no background. I love that, so I don't have much work to do. As you can see, I scaled it too much down. When you scale it up, you will lose quality again, so make sure you scale it down. And when you scale down, it's the proper size, because scaling up again will make the image lose quality. Okay, I think the Litecoin logo is good too, but let's put that on the last one because I think it's the less important cryptocurrency at the moment for me. We've got the set cache logo, layer duplicate. I'm going once again remove the white background color. Once we've done that, we're going to drag it again into our landing page file. As you can see, it still has some white surroundings. I hope those will remove by scaling it down. I think this one is too small, but let's see. It is. Now I want to remove the white, and I will just select modify contracted with 1 pixel and select the inverse. That means you will select the other part of the image. So in this case it's everything outside the selection. Now I will press on delete and hopefully it has removed my white surroundings. As you can see, it worked. So now we're going to scale it down again. This technique only works with round things and other stuff. So the Zcash logo, as you can see, it's a little bit more big. Don't forget to name the layers, because you will be searching for a long time if you've got hundreds of layers in an image. So our landing page now is almost finished. The logos look very cool. Also the text, I might want to change the solution into yellow. Okay, anyways, we've created a fast landing page, and what you might want to do, you want to throw these logos in a map, so you can move them all together. You have to drag each layer into the map. What's the great thing of this map? I now have all 5 layers and I can move them all 5 at once. But I can also move them single way. Here's the Bitcoin logo, as you can see, step backward, but I have to choose the layer and set them up. So we're now going to close them up again. So we can see much more layers than those 5 layers. So the landing page is basically ready. You might want to change some things later on. Right now we're going to save him 2 times. The first time we're going to save it is as a Photoshop.psd file, and this one very important if you want to change things later. We call it div background, and we're not going to save it at the cryptocurrency logos. Now we're going to save it in just downloaded the zip file, and we're going to put it in the LCP map in the files we extracted from the zip file, and we call it div background. Just save, turning on maximize compatibility. Okay, that's step 1. What we now want to do, we again go stand on the div background layer, and we put this opacity on 85. Adding transparency to our layer really adds a finishing touch to any website. It looks much more beautiful, much more cool. Once we've added transparency, we want to save it as a .png file to save the transparency in our picture. And I'm going to name this div background also, but we save it as a .png file. Opslaan, save. Okay. So next thing we do, we'll open Dreamweaver or any other website maker that shows you the design and the source code at the same time. The source code is already partially finished. I did some small things. What you want to do here is you've got here div layer 1. This is our body, and inside here we're going to put the tables and the button and stuff, but first we want to add some CSS. I've already added it for you. This CSS code basically says which background your div 1 layer has, and here I'm going to write it again, div background.png, saving it, and picture width, picture height, it's all good. This margin -350, -250, this actually centers your landing page in the middle of the website. And if I go to the preview now, it already shows the website here, and the only thing we're missing is a button. This button we're also going to make in Photoshop. It's also been added to the zip file, a clean button, and we're going to open it now. Let me close this one logo here, and let's open this button here, the access button. Also just a clean red button I made, and we're going to add one cool font on here to make it look like all the other buttons you can see on the internet. I'm going to use the impact font, and I'm just going to write something here with 40 pixel size, and what I'm going to write is more information, because we want to give people more information, and it's already the proper font. Now I'm going to press the text tool again. We're going to the text properties again, and as you can see, you can just add this to the text, and once you've done this, it already looks very professional. Now the button is ready. I'm going to save it again. Very important to save it as a .png file. I'm just going to override yes, large file size. Okay. And now we've got this button, and it's basically the last thing we need to do until we finish our landing page, is to add the button in the layer we've created here. How I do that? Just insert a new table, make the table always 3 by 3. As you can see, a table appeared, and you want to remove the border from the table, and always put 0, because if you remove the border tag at all, Some browsers will just add a border, so you always have to put 0 for every border if you want no border to your stuff. So here we've got now 9 columns, and these 9 columns I'm going to position them right now. You can do that very easily with Dreamweaver just by dragging them to the left, dragging them to the right, or dragging them up or down. So where is my button going to be? Well, it's going to be a little bit here. As you can see here, I created a space for my button. I also want this button to be centered. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add to this TD tag the v-align and the align tag, and that basically ensures everything in this column will be centered. As you can see, it already goes here. Next thing I'm going to do is add the image. To show it again how to do that, insert image, access, more information, long description, case generators.nl. Let's put it Google. As you can see, we've got here a button with a hyperlink. No hyperlink yet. http google.nl. We've just added the link here. And once we've done that, our landing page basically is finished. It's working. That's what we want. As you can see about the preview, I can now just click the button and go to the google.com homepage. Let's do that again. As you can see, the landing page could use a little bit more filling of the space, or you could position it much better than before. This is basically the end result. When you have this, you can see it. You can just go back to the Photoshop file and edit things how you want it and make it look better. That's what we're going to do. I know the text could spread a little bit more across the picture, and the solution is here. We're going to make this down. We're going to put the logos more down. We're going to put the ordinary people text more down, like this. File save. Make sure to save the Photoshop.psd file and then save it again as a .png, and just overwrite the last file. Once you've done that and uploaded the file again, or just saved it, your landing page will change. As you can see, using this making landing pages this way is actually pretty easy, and you can just go into Photoshop again and change it and add text or add other things yourself. Here we've got a fully operational landing page. Just some text. Always wanted to get Bitcoin but don't want to spend over $7,000 for one Bitcoin. Some more text below and a button, a call to action button. The solution is here, more information. I could basically get instant access or put any other call to action text on the button to make people click it. And in this case that's probably not needed, because people want to know how to mine cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Expense, Zcash and Litecoin, and I've got the solution for them. So most of the time they will click this button and they will just go to the next site. And this is the power of a landing page. It quickly shows some information about what you have to offer, and it attracts the visitor to the next page behind this. So if you have any questions about this, feel free to ask me or leave a comment in the comment section, and I will be sure to get back to you. If the video wasn't perfect, forgive me. This is one of my first tutorial videos, and I'm trying to get better in the future. And if you like this, please like the video and be sure to come back to check my next video. Peace!